Hello there. It is mid-February, so kind of the very beginning of feeling as though it's going to be spring. Fabrizio calls this changeover time, when you go from not having enough time to get any gardening done in the afternoon to actually, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, and I've got until 6 reasonably to get some stuff done, which is brilliant. And so I thought I'd take you on a little trip around the garden and we'll do some stuff. First of all, in this box, I have lots of beautiful snowdrops in the green. And so I'm going to plant those. If you order plants that arrive by post or courier, as soon as they arrive, open the box. Don't leave them to rot and get them somewhere cool. So if the postman delivers into your house, for example, don't leave them in a hot porch. So I've got them in my studio, which is, as you know, is always cold. And I'm just going to open up all the little bags. And I'm not going to take them all out to plant at once. I'm going to do them chunk by chunk. I have lots of the classic wild snowdrop, Galanthus nivalis, the ordinary one. But this is a little double, and I fancied having a little double in my garden. So I will be popping the little doubles in. And this is what they mean when they say planting bulbs in the green. It means that they're growing, you can see them. And you can do this with pretty much any bulbous material as it shoots or after it's flowered. So for example, if you had a big clump of daffodils and you want to split them and move them around, you can. Before or after they flower. Quite often you'll wait till they flower to see which ones they are before you move them. But you can do that just as well with daffs and narcissi as you can with little snowdrops, and some of these are aconites. I haven't really got any aconites here at Common Farm. We've got a few snowdrops that I've been slowly moving around the garden over the years, but I could do with some cheerful yellow to mix in, so I'll be popping those in at the same time. I hope you're enjoying the microphone. The other thing I've learned to do, and thank you very much to the subscriber who messaged me to tell me this, and I can't find your message, so I can't credit you, so I'm sorry about that. But for the rest of you, if you go to the bottom of the screen, run your cursor across the screen, at the bottom there's a double C, CC, and it means closed caption, and you can click on that and the captions will come up on the screen. So for those of you who might be hard of hearing or like to watch in secret, I know sometimes, you know, if you're, sometimes, well, I know because I do this myself, that, you know, if I can't sleep at night, I might watch something on my phone. Don't tell anyone, that's a terrible admission. But I do, and I don't want to have the noise to wake the rest of my family up. So if you're one of those people, then if you run the cursor over and click on CC, then you'll get closed caption, and that will caption the piece as I speak. Right, enough of this administration. Let's get on with the jobs. Lots to do. Now, February, hello, is a great time for pruning, and not just your apples and your pears, but your budleja. It's always worth remembering, because otherwise it gets very large and weedy and it will flower happily on new growth. So this one is a beautiful white budleja, and the butterflies, especially, like the red admiral and the venesid butterflies. Goodness, I'm looking quite stern today. Butterflies really love this. So it's worth cutting it back, because otherwise it overtakes the whole garden, and it will flower beautifully from July. This is a white variety, which was here when we got here, so I don't know its exact name. And I'm going to cut it off really low. Look, can you see? My leg is coming up. It's sort of knee height. I'm cutting off at knee height. So I'm going to have a little hack, and I'll show you when I've finished. I love gardening. This is what my mother would call jungle warfare. So here she is, all tidied up. And don't worry, if you look, I'm really down here. If you look, oh, I'm gonna have to push the thing up. Oh, very annoying. Right, is that better? Tiny bit. If you look inside her, I can see lots of little shoots. So I haven't killed her off. She will regenerate very happily. And we'll have a lovely big white budleja here for those vanessed butterflies later in the summer. Right, come on then. Yes, I did have to get out the saw. We have a system here where we put all our kind of light wood clippings, of which there are always quite a lot. You know, we cut a lot of willow here, and we're always clipping and cutting down. So we have a whole band all the way up this row of trees where we put our clippings, and they slowly rot down, and in doing so they sequester carbon into the ground, but they also provide an enormous amount of cover for beetles and small birds. If you ever see small birds when you're walking around and you see how they behave, often if they're taken by surprise and they fly away, they don't fly up, they fly sideways. So they need a bit of cover to be able to fly into to escape the marauding garden cat or whatever it is. So having piles like this is really useful for the wild birds, for the beetles, hedgehogs, toads, but also slowly sequestering carbon and rotting down slowly into the ground is encouraging my underground world, where there's a huge net of mycelium, a subject I'm becoming more and more fascinated by, under the ground here at Common Farm. And the more we allow things to rot into it, the more that net grows and the healthier the environment altogether is here at Common Farm. There you go. Every day's a school day. Right. So here we are just outside the flower farm. You can see the fence with the beds inside. But I'm going to try and naturalise some more snowdrops all along this path here, going up to the top. And I'm quite ruthless. You see the snowdrops? You have 3 or 4 bulbs at a time. You take a little handful in your hand, like this. Then make a slit trench with your spade. I'll show you up close in a second, but I'll just put these in while I'm thinking of it. And I literally put them the right way up, tuck them in, and then making sure they don't come out with my spade, I can then just peel them in and they'll settle in there, and hopefully we'll get them next year. Right, come and have a close-up look. I'll show you. Right, here you go. Jam in the spade, really get it nice and deep. We don't mow much in the winter because we are conscious of all the small insects which overwinter in the long grass, and the mice which the owls like to hunt. Anyway, there's my slit trench. Here's my handful of snowdrops. In they go. I'll come and show you close up. Come on then. There. Can you see them all just tucked in any old how? Slightly the right way up. And I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed. Put my foot there to... this blimming microphone. Right, put my foot there to stop them coming out. Bring out the spade. There, you can just see they're just sticking out, and heel them in. And you think this is quite rough? Doesn't matter. They'll be back next year. There we are. And that's how you do planting in the green. And here are some I moved last year, which have popped up in this little patch of this little woody patch we call the lugfall. And soon we'll have them all the way down this path. When I say soon, in 15 or 20 years. Right, I best get back, get them all in. I've got 200 of these to get in, and they won't go in if I spend all afternoon talking to you guys. When I say that I'll have a drift of snowdrops in 15 or 20 years, I mean it. Gardening is never instant. It is not an instant gratification thing. It is a slow burn. One really doesn't plant a garden for oneself. One plants a garden forever. And I think that's something something very good for the mental health about that. There's no instant gratification. It is small delight after small delight after small delight over years and years and years. I'll tell you another top tip. I remember reading once about an old gentleman who gardened 7 acres, and this is a 7-acre plot, on his own, and it was immaculate and very beautiful. And somebody said to him, how do you do it? How do you make it work so that it's only you? How do you make this 7-acre plot so brilliant? And he said, I just do one job at a time, and eventually they all get done. I thought that was mind-blowing. So that's how I work. I just do one job at a time. And this is the next one. Right, I'm going to finish these. Enough of this wisdom. By the way, if you find any of the tips and tricks we share in our clips useful, you can always buy me a coffee. The link is in the blurb somewhere. And please do follow, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got new clips coming out. Okay, let's get on. So here we are, a couple of days later, I will admit. And all of the seeds in their trays are in the greenhouse under an extra layer of clear plastic top, because 2 reasons. Mice, gotta keep the mice off, and secondly, I'd like to kind of get them going, and so having the extra top encourages them to germinate more quickly. I don't want the seeds to be sitting around rotting. So we're getting them going. The greenhouse is full, onwards upwards. I'll show you what we're doing up the field. Quick. It is about 7:30 in the morning. Would you look how light it is? And I've got to get this done quickly because I've got a lot of flowers going out today, and I'm trying to make time to spend a day with the kids. Happy days. What's this, you ask, as we squelch around the corner? This, my friends, means that the roses have been pruned. Let me show you. Oh, there's tidy. As you can see, the roses have all been pruned because we have no frost forecast for a few nights. I think there might be a frost next week, but this week, not frosty. Mid-February, so good time for us to prune. And I was going to do it with the hedge trimmer, but in the end we had time and I thought they could do with a tidy. So we did them by hand quickly. They're about just under knee height all the way down. And now they could do with a little weed under them and a mulch. That's the next job. So there you have it. Those are the jobs we've got up to in the garden this week. We've sown either annuals, only the ones which take a long time to germinate, like it really warm underneath. What is going on with my hair? Take a long season. So I've been quite fussy, or they're very, very hardy. I have got a polytunnel full of hardy annuals. So I'm only sowing. Don't gallop to keep up with me. Particularly if you're just growing for your domestic pleasure, really wait. You do not need to be sowing seeds at this stage. You can wait. I just have to get moving because I have a big season and I need a lot of flowers through the season. So I have to kind of focus a bit more than the general person. So seed sowing. I've cut back the budleja pruned the roses. I've planted a lot of snowdrops and aconites in the green. And that, my friends, is plenty for this week. As you can see, it really feels as though the beginning of the sap rising. So that makes me quite excited. Strange but true, niche pleasures. Anyway, please do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the session, the chat. You can always press the bell icon and somebody will tell you when we have a new clip out. And if any of this has been useful, please do buy me a coffee. The link is in the blurb for all the clips. And just general tip I now have discovered, thanks to one of you dear subscribers, if you roll your cursor over the screen, you'll find a little CC icon, which means closed captions. And you can then put captions on and watch this privately. So nobody else has to join in. I know lots of people like to watch clips without the noise. You might be on a train or a bus. Or I know also people lie in bed at night and don't want to wake up their partners, but they can't sleep, so they watch YouTube clips. Anyway, there you go. Have a lovely day, evening, wherever you are in the world. I'll see you soon. Bye.